If you thought things couldn't get any worse, RBC just dropped the most brutal economic warning Canada has seen in decades. A new report confirms it. Over $1.7 trillion in Canadian wealth is set to vanish by 2026. Not just housing, not stocks. Your job, your income, your future. The entire system is cracking in slow motion. Most Canadians have no idea it's already happening. What happens when businesses stop hiring? When mortgages triple, when debt explodes, and over 1 million new workers flood into a system that's already breaking? You're about to find out. Here's what you're about to see. First, how much of your wealth is fake and already disappearing, even if you haven't felt it yet. Second, why Canada's economy is heading into a death spiral that no one's ready for. Not the banks, not the job market, not me, not you, not even the government. And third, the only move left if you don't want to get crushed when this thing hits full speed. This isn't just a recession, it's the most vicious economic collapse of our lifetime. RBC calls it a historic and painful correction period, and they're not alone. TD, BMO, IMF. They all see the same thing coming. Wealth is hemorrhaging at a scale we've never seen before. Home equity, retirement accounts, the cushion protecting your 50s and 60s, gone. Real estate wealth to fall 30 to 50% from the peak once you adjust for inflation. And if that happens, the numbers don't just go down, people get wiped out. Here's what that actually means. The $1.7 trillion isn't money leaving Canada, it's money that never existed in the first place. It's the gap between what Canadians think their homes are worth and what they're actually worth when the fantasy ends. Affordability is now worse than 1989, worse than 2008, worse than any time in Canadian history. But none of this is a surprise because the entire economy was built on a fantasy. This wasn't a housing market, it was a hallucination, a bubble inflated by cheap debt and suffocating optimism. CMHC says Canada's market is severely overvalued. TD and BMO estimate the total bubble size is between $8 and $12 trillion. RBC believes prices are still 40% above affordability fundamentals. The IMF ranks us the most overvalued country on earth. Moody's calls our mortgage risk the highest in the G7, and Fitch says mortgage renewals will trigger unprecedented pain across the country. And here's where the system cracks. Housing falls, equity vanishes, spending stops, businesses collapse, jobs disappear, debt explodes. Each piece doesn't just fall, it takes the next one down with it. But most Canadians are still being told everything's fine, that we're in a soft landing, that this is temporary. Meanwhile, business insolvencies just hit the highest level since 2010. Personal bankruptcies are up 38% year over year. Full-time job creation is flatlined, while unemployment skyrockets, all while immigration masks the damage. We're adding 3 times more people than jobs, and nobody's doing the math. Interest payments are eating Canadians alive. 1 in every $4 is now going to debt service. That's not sustainable. When Canadians stop spending, businesses die. When businesses die, jobs vanish. And when jobs vanish, the entire economy bleeds out. This is the death loop. And it's already happening to thousands of Canadians. If you're thinking about selling anywhere in the Greater Golden Horseshoe, you are about to step into the arena of the most vicious housing market this country has ever seen. I built a free seller guide that shows the 7 ways to increase your home's value before you list. Links below, takes 5 seconds. Next. You'll see the single data point that proves this isn't a correction. It's a controlled demolition, and why the trigger that collapses everything could go off in the next 6 months. If the cracks looked bad a minute ago, what you're about to see next is going to cut like a knife, because this isn't just about falling prices, it's about the entire foundation breaking underneath them. Real GDP per person has been nosediving for nearly 2 years. Unemployment just ticked up to 6.2%, and that number's likely low, because more and more people are working part-time. But here's the real bombshell. In 60 seconds, I'm going to show you the one number that proves Canada's economy isn't just cracking, it's collapsing. And if you ignore it, it will do something very real, very permanent. Most Canadians still think we're in a slowdown, that this is just a soft landing. But the data says we've already been hit. Business bankruptcies are up 82% in just 2 years. I've watched this unfold in real time, and it's accelerating. I'm sitting across from sellers every week who are watching their equity vanish. Businesses that were thriving 3 years ago, gone. And the part that keeps me up at night, most of them still think this is temporary. They're waiting for the bounce, but the data says there is no bounce coming. That is the single most important number in the country right now. Because if businesses are collapsing, jobs are next. At the exact same time, Canada added over 1.2 million new people last year. To an economy that's already shrinking, we're adding 3 times more people than we're creating jobs. And it's not just short-term immigration spikes. This is permanent structural imbalance. It's artificial growth. While you get poorer, because wages aren't keeping up, living costs are exploding. And Canadians are now spending more of their income on debt than ever before. One in every $4 gone just to stay afloat. This isn't the economy of a healthy country. This is a pressure cooker. And nobody at the top is telling the truth about what's coming because they can't fix it. They built it. This is what we mean by the death spiral. When equity falls, people stop spending. When spending falls, businesses collapse. When businesses collapse, jobs vanish. When jobs vanish, people default. And when people default, equity falls further. It's a loop, and we are already inside it. That's why the 82% stat matters. It's not just about bankruptcies. It's proof that the dominoes have started falling. Now, here's the real problem. Once you hit this point, there is no soft landing because the spiral feeds itself. We are entering the most dangerous phase of this entire collapse, and nobody's going to tell you when it's here. Not the banks, not the media, not the government, because the moment they admit the truth, confidence collapses and the system breaks all at once. That's why you need to think differently, not emotionally, strategically, because if you're waiting for the bounce, you're going to miss your window. Next, the only move left if you don't want to get crushed when this hits full speed, and exactly how to protect yourself before the spiral pulls you in. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. This isn't a slowdown. It's not a soft landing. It's not temporary. It's a full-scale wipeout, and the spiral is already underway. You've seen the damage, trillions in wealth gone, jobs disappearing, debt surging, and over 1 million new people added to an economy that's already breaking. But here's what most Canadians still don't understand. There's no cavalry coming, no stimulus, no rate cuts that fix this, because the damage isn't just financial, it's structural. And once the structure breaks, you don't get a bounce, you get demolition. That's where we are now. So here's the final piece you need to understand. The one strategic move that could make the difference between getting wiped out or getting out early. But to explain it, let's go back to what we said at the very beginning. Remember the promise. First, I showed you how much of your wealth is already fake and vanishing. Second, I broke down why the system is spiraling and why nobody's ready. Now, here's the only move left. The only one that makes sense. When everything around you is still pretending nothing's wrong, you have to stop playing defense and start playing time. Because what's coming isn't about how much your home is worth today. It's about what happens when liquidity vanishes, when listings surge and buyers vanish. For most people, their entire future lives inside their home's value. And if you're thinking of selling in the next 6 to 12 months, the only thing that matters now is timing. Most wait too long. They don't act when they see the signs. They wait for the bounce, then get caught in the spiral. Once you're in it, you lose control, you lose leverage, you lose value, you lose options. That's why I built the free seller guide, not just to help you sell, but to help you win before the market hits its next wall. It's for the 99% of people I will never end up working with, because here's the truth. We are still in phase 2. The wipeout hasn't shown its full face yet. It's still masked by hope, by immigration, by the fantasy that lower rates will bring a better day. But phase 3 is coming. The part where listings explode, buyers pull back, and the real pain hits. You need to be ahead of that, not inside it. The guide gives you the 7 things to do before you list, to increase your value, to move faster, to stay in control. If you're in the Greater Golden Horseshoe, and you're even thinking of selling in the next year, download it now. It's free, and it takes 5 seconds. But that's not the most important thing I want you to take from this video. It's this: don't wait for permission to act. Don't wait for the news to tell you the storm has landed, because by the time they do, it's too late. You've already seen the numbers, you've seen the cracks, you've seen the collapse begin. Remember what we showed you earlier? Business failures up 82%. That wasn't noise, that was the warning bell. You've seen the one number, 82%. That proves the spiral is real. You're early, that's your edge, use it. Because most Canadians will do nothing. They'll hope, they'll wait, they'll freeze. You can do something different. And that difference, that single move, could be the one thing that protects your equity, your family, and your future. We are not in a cycle. We are in a shift. And the only way to survive it is to move before it hits full speed. Stay sharp, stay early, stay ready, stay free. I'll see you in the next one.